Okay, welcome back. This video will be the last in the series of videos about the completion guide for the FT Flyer aircraft. And this is about all the other tools that I use on a regular basis to fly RC airplanes, but obviously I use them to fly the FT Flyer. So I'm going to start with when you go to make the power pod, you have to fold these edges up and over, and what that means is you have to cut out a small square of foam but leave the paper. And in order to do that, you do a very precise like a 50-60% cut on two lines, and then you fold it back, which breaks one line out, and then you have to sort of dig it out. They say dig it out with your thumbnail. That's not as easy as using a tool like this. This is a Craftsman. I've had this thing for years. It's a Craftsman carving tool. It's slightly curved but relatively sharp, and it can get down in and work it down to making that foam come out very easily. So I have that one. I also have another one if I need two for some reason. I've got a beveled one, but this straight curved one seems to work the best. So I've got some carving tools for that to anytime you're digging out. There are several places where you have to do that, but you basically have to dig out some foam. That's the tool you use. Always have handy some drill bits. So I have a 1/16 and a 5/64 drill bit here, and these are really easy to use as a hand drill. You don't put it in a drill, you just do it with your hand. And if I need a smaller hole, I've got a pin vise that has a 1mm drill bit in it. I've got other pin vices that'll take even this size or bigger. So a pin vise is nice to have with the drill bits. Sharpie markers. I use Sharpie markers, both two kinds, the fine tip and the broad tip, and the red. And this one has both the fine and the regular tip on it, so have some good Sharpie markers available. I use T-pins because I like them better than the push pins or the sewing pins that my wife uses. So I use these T-pins for pinning stuff. And I use blue masking tape if I want to tape a plan down to trace it out. Hex wrenches, you can go and buy yourself a fairly inexpensive hex wrench set like this on a ring at a local hardware store. That's the metric ones. This is the English size. So you always have to have some hex wrenches, especially like a 3/32 and a 2mm for the two things that I'm using here. Actually, I guess maybe the 2mm and the 050 is probably what I would use the most. Or you can buy yourself a nice standard set of hex wrenches like this. I got these at Horizon Hobby. They're the Dynamite brand, Horizon Hobby, and they come. That's a 2.5mm, 2mm, 1.5mm. The 050, which you use for the collars, the 1/16 and the 3/32, and it comes in lots of other sizes. So having a good set of hex wrenches is important. Phillips screwdrivers are nice. I've got a very fine one, and the Phillips screwdriver that came with the Crafty kit from Flite Test actually is a pretty good screwdriver. So I've got a couple of screwdrivers here. One tool in your box, don't forget, is Loctite. Okay, this is blue Loctite. The blue Loctite allows you to tighten the the set screws in the servo arm and the control horn and on the wheel collars so that they will not come out. Just a very tiny little bit. What I do is I usually take a paper towel, put a little bit on, take a little bit off with the paper towel, and then lock it down. So Loctite is very important. There's another brand besides Loctite called Permatex Thread Lock. Works just as well. But get the blue, not the red. The blue is semi-permanent. I use wooden blocks, as you may have seen before, or maybe you haven't seen yet. I use 2 wooden blocks like this to make sure that I'm holding it at 90 degrees on the table so that both sides are 90 degrees. So just a couple of kids' wooden blocks. My grandson won't miss them. A couple of pieces of sandpaper hot glued onto a wooden 1x2 piece of wood. 2 different grits. That's I guess 150 grit. This is like 400 grit. I use 3 different rulers: the 18-inch, the 12-inch, and a 6-inch metal ruler. They all have this cork on the back that makes it nice that it stands up and you can draw a nice straight line, or use it as a cutting guide for the cutting with the razor blades. The other thing I always like to have handy is a 90-degree square. This is perfectly 90 degrees. I know it because it's not adjustable, and so I'm certain if I need a 90-degree measurement, I've got that. So those are the tools that I use. Last but not least, because you're dealing with LiPo batteries, you need to recharge them. I use 2 different chargers, and in other videos, in my series of other videos, you'll see me review some of these and how to use them. But I use the Thunder Power AC/DC 610 Thunder Power 610C AC/DC charger. Excellent. I've got actually own 4 of these. I carry 2 to the field with me all the time. I have 2 in the shop here. And I also have a multi-charger from High Tech. It's unique in that it has 2 charging ports on it. High Tech also sells a 4-port charger if you want. But it has 2 charging ports, so you can charge 2 batteries at the same time. Sometimes I'll even take that to the field. And last but not least, you're going to need a radio. I'm using Spectrum radios and receivers for a long time. I like Spectrum. Better than that other brand, I think. And so you've seen me, if you've watched some of my other videos, you've seen me review the new Spectrum DXE radio for $59. It's a pretty good radio. It has all the basic functions and features you need in a radio. It's also reprogrammable to have different models in it through your iPhone, and there's a series of videos on how to use this and how to do that in my other playlists. So this is good. I'm putting these on my Spectrum DX18 radio because that's my main radio for going and flying. I'll also put some on a DX7 that I have if I'm going to use these for teaching. These will make good trainers, by the way, so I plan to actually use these to help people learn to fly. So that's the other tools. Thank you for watching, and now we'll get started with actually building it in the next series of videos. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.